Hey boys and girls, welcome back to your second lesson today on mass. Yesterday we introduced mass and we learned that mass is the amount of matter in objects. When we talked about that word matter, we said that's the stuff that we're made up of, right? We're made up of matter. Things around us are made up of matter. Everything is made up of some kind of matter, whether it's a solid, a liquid, or a gas. So today, you're going to actually have two parts to your lesson. This is the first part, and we're going to be learning about how to measure mass when we're using tools. And then you're going to have another lesson after this one about estimating mass. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off. Before we start off with our lesson, let's get our brains warmed up, and we're going to do a would you rather. Kind of similar to how we did ours last week with volume. So would you rather carry 50 kilograms up a flight of stairs or carry 500 grams up a flight of stairs? This one's a little tricky. Pay attention not only to the number, but to the unit of measure. Remember we talked yesterday, grams and kilograms are how we measure mass. So would you rather carry 50 kilograms or carry 500 grams? All right, well, if you're like me, you remember that grams, 1 gram is like the weight of a paper clip. It feels the same as a paper clip in my hand. A kilogram feels like a regular size dictionary, okay? So I know that I would probably rather carry 500 grams, or I can even think of it like 500 paper clips, than carry 50 kilograms or 50 dictionaries. So I think I'm going to go with the second choice. I would rather carry 500 grams up a flight of stairs. So let's go ahead and start with our lesson today. We are learning about how to measure mass. And if you look at the three pictures here, we can see that we can use different types of scales to measure mass. And maybe you've seen one of these scales either at home or maybe one of them at school. We've got the kitchen scale. We've got a bathroom scale. And then we've got the pan balance scale. And you've probably seen these at school and you've probably worked with them in second grade and first grade and even kindergarten. So a kitchen scale can measure things either in a gram or a kilogram. And remember we talked about grams would be like lighter objects, right? Something a little bit lighter. And kilograms would be heavier objects that I could measure, maybe things in my kitchen, like food, okay? A bathroom scale measures in kilograms. And even though we're not going to learn about pounds in third grade, the way you can think about 1 kilogram is equal to about 2.2 pounds. And remember, again, we're visualizing a kilogram is like carrying like a wooden bat or how it would feel carrying your dictionary. And then the last one, a balance scale, usually measures things in grams. It measures lighter objects, and that's what we're going to work with today during our lesson. Okay, so when we use a balance scale, we keep adding weight until the scales balance. So I'm going to pull up my ladybug, and you're going to get to actually see, here we go, here is a pan balance. And if you look and see, I've actually pointed, so it's kind of hard to tell. The pointer has to be pointing directly in the middle to show me that whatever I put in this bucket or this pan is going to be the same mass as this. So as long as that pointer is in the middle, that's going to tell me that the two objects or whatever I put in each one are of equal mass. So let's do a little bit of practice. I have a pencil, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in my bucket over here. So as you can see, my pointer now no longer is in the middle. So it's showing me right now that the pencil is heavier. And we can see that because there's nothing else in the other bucket. So I have some weights here, and they are labeled, and we're going to see if we can figure out the mass of this pencil. So if you look here, here's a 10-gram weight, and it's green. And then we have a 5-gram weight. Okay, those are blue. And then I've got the 1-gram weight, which is red. Okay, so after this lesson, you're going to actually be learning how to estimate an accurate mass for objects, but I'm going to just go ahead and do a little estimation. I am going to just go ahead and try out my 10-gram weight, and I'm going to see if they're equal. I'm just going to make sure that it's stable, not wiggling so much. And as we can see now, the pointer has gone to the other way, so it's showing me that the 10-pound weight there is heavier than the pencil. They are not even, right? My pointer is not in the middle, so they do not have an equal mass right now. So then I know that 10 grams is probably too heavy. So let me try the 5 grams. Remember, that was the blue one. And if we look, it's going to stop wiggling in just a minute. Okay, we can see that the pointer is pretty close to the middle. So I'm going to say that the pencil is about 5 grams. That's the mass, okay? And we're using the balance scale as our tool. All right, so what would we need to know in order to measure the mass of a penny? Let's try something else. So again, I'm looking at a penny, and a penny seems pretty light. It really doesn't matter the size of an object, it matters how it feels, right? You could have something big like a balloon, but it's still gonna feel light. So I'm thinking about a penny in my hand, and I would say that a penny is pretty close to a gram, and I'm going to even estimate maybe even 2 grams. So let's see. I've got my penny here, nice shiny penny. We're going to put that in the bucket right now, and we're going to see what our pointer does. And right now we can see that the pointer is shifting a little bit over to this side, okay? So I can see the penny is a little heavier than my other side. There's nothing in there, but it's not going down as low as the pencil. So I'm thinking that the penny might even be a little bit lighter than the pencil. Okay, so maybe my penny, instead of being 5 grams, maybe the penny is, let's try, and I'm going to just try the 1 gram weight. So I'm going to try 1. Ooh, almost. I'm going to try 2. Oh, it's so close. Let me try 3 just to see. Wow. So if it were to stop moving right now, we see that that pointer is pretty close to the middle. See where the arrow is pointing. So I'm going to say that the penny is about 3 grams. That's the mass of my penny. So if a penny has a mass of about 3 grams, ooh, let's do a little word problem here. What is the approximate mass? And approximate means just as close as I can get. What is the approximate mass of 9 pennies? So if I know one of those pennies was 3 grams, what is the mass going to be of 9 pennies? Well, that's like saying 3 times 9, or 3 plus 3 plus 3, and doing that repeated addition 9 times. So I know that 3 times 9 equals 27 grams. Okay, so 9 pennies is going to be about 27 grams. That's my mass. All right, let's try another object. What would we need to know in order to measure the mass of a piece of candy? Again, I know I'm going to measure in grams and not kilograms because grams are lighter. And looking at that little piece of candy, I highly doubt, I'm thinking about a kilogram, I don't think that it's going to be as heavy as a dictionary. So I'm going to get my scale ready. And let's pull back up that ladybug. And let's see. So I've got my piece of candy here. And we're going to go ahead and put it in there. Whoa! What do you notice this time, guys? I notice that now, wow, that bucket is a lot lower. So this is showing me that this candy is probably going to be heavier than the pencil. Definitely going to be heavier than the penny. So thinking about the pencil being 5 grams, I wonder Let's see. I'm going to try the 10 again. Let's see if we can try the 10, and let's see what happens. Oh, if I look really closely, do you see how the pointer's kind of more over here, not quite in the middle? So I'm thinking 10 might be just a little bit too much, okay? A little bit too much. So let's go back to that 5 pound. Sorry, I keep saying pound. 5 gram weight. And let's put that in there. So I know it's going to be heavier than the 5 because the pencil was 5, but it's not going to be as heavy as 10 grams. So let me try adding some ones, and let's see if we can get it pretty close. You see how it's getting closer and closer to that middle? And this is just where you have to keep just kind of trying, and I'm going to stop right there. If you noticed, I put 3 of the 1 grams. And there's a 5, so 5 plus 3, that's 8 grams in there. I would say that the piece of candy is about 8 grams. That's the mass of my piece of candy. So let's do another word problem. Let's say that Miss Bell bought a bag of candy, and each piece, just like we saw, weighs 8 grams. If there are 30 pieces in the bag, how much do they weigh all together? All right, so if there's 30 pieces, what would our answer be? If you need to, you can pause the video and think about it. All right, well, here's the kind of math I did. I said, well, if 8 times 3 is 24, then I know that 8 times 30, I'm going to do some multiplication again. That's going to be my operation, is going to equal 240 grams. So 30 pieces of this candy would be about 240 grams. That would be my mass. So boys and girls, as you can see, we're using the scale to help us, right? We're even using it in a word problem and seeing how can we figure out, first of all, the mass, and then figure out what operation we would do if it was in a word problem. All right, so that's going to be all for this lesson. Remember that you have one more part, and it's going to be all about estimating mass.